Good morning, everyone. Crypto Bull Ron here, coming to you with your opening bell crypto. Big news day, lots happening, but market's not doing great. We'll jump into it. Let me always like to take a quick check with X, which is where most of my followers are, and make sure the sound's coming through. Lots happening, but yeah, looks like it. Let me throw a little GM in the chat. So whether you're coming live from YouTube or X, look, the purpose of the show is just to tell you everything that happened when you were sleeping, all the big news that's going to affect the market today. Market just opened. We've been open in about 4 minutes. The NASDAQ looks like it's down about a third, about 0.35. Dow Jones down 0.51. S&P down 0.48. Of course, giant Nvidia news yesterday. They reported big stuff happened there, but we also had the FOMC minutes, which were very bearish. So I think that's what's brought the market down, to be honest with you. But let's look at crypto. We got Bitcoin 77,096, flat for the day. Looking here on the daily chart, got up about 1,000 points from where we are today last night, and we're down here on the hourly. Let's see, dropping a little bit, maybe bottomed out. But anyway, not bad. Like I say, not a great day. It is Thursday. Week's winding down a little bit. Like I say, great Nvidia news. We'll get to it. Just not great. The everything else is just kind of, especially the FOMC meeting. I thought that was very hawkish, very hawkish. 2001 on Ethereum, down 0.3 for the day. XRP, $1.36.1, flat for the day as well. And Solana, $85.69, up 1.6%. So Solana's been doing a little bit better the last few days. But GM, welcome if you're listening live. Appreciate it. Today's one of those days with tons of important news. So glad you're here. We'll cover that, but it's still kind of not a lot of action on the market, up or down, which is good. We're kind of sideways, really. Like I say, we're getting reporting and different macro things happening. But let's kind of dive into some of the news here. Let's get back to Bitcoin. We will check back in a few minutes, since give the market a minute to kind of settle down, grab a direction. We've got China down $2 billion. Well, no, yeah, almost what? What was it in dollars? I don't know what that is in yen. 2 trillion yen, but the market dropped over 2% yesterday. It was down 282 billion US dollars. Hey, Heineken Scott. Oh, you changed your PFP. You got your face on there. Good morning, Scott. Runs a great space today again. By the way, Scott, with the Heineken community at 6:30 a.m. on weekdays and 7 a.m. Check that out. Heineken Scott, Heine, HINEYKIN Scott. Follow him. Check out. He's also usually talks on my later space if he's not. He's supposed to be working this time of day, but does a little multitasking like we all do. But so Chinese, a lot of people aren't paying attention. It's funny, we got Vera the ape there, Bored Ape, girl from China, but it's kind of hilarious that she said in the red color actually means up. In the Chinese, red is up and green is down when you look at the Chinese candles. So she thought that was kind of funny. She is, I think, from mainland China. So shout out to Vera the ape. But yeah, so they had they were down, entire market down over 2%, almost $300 billion US dollars. So it's significant. Hey, Coachmaster, GM. Talked to Coachmaster yesterday, paying his paying his mortgage on his CoinZoom card, man. So that's how it's done. I'm super excited to see people using that, earning free crypto for, I assume since he's not homeless, I assume Coachmaster's been paying that mortgage for a long time. Now he's earning up to 5% back. So shout out to our guy Coachmaster. Hey, I just noticed too, both Scott and Coachmaster coming live on YouTube, which is cool because I've got like 38,000 followers on X. Been doing content there for 5 years. I've been there for over 10 years. And so I spent a lot of time on X, but trying to reach some new people, some new platforms. So cool to see some people over there on YouTube. I only got about 105 followers on YouTube. So I think it helps a lot coming out there. There you go, Coachmaster. He said, utilizing my CoinZoom a lot more. Need all my bills to go through CoinZoom. Literally, that's all I've been using for 4 or 5 years now. I'm at the 5% level. And literally, I pay for everything. Everything. The only thing I can't pay is my wife's mortgage. They won't accept debit cards, which is the only thing. Literally, the only thing. Only thing she uses her bank account. Oh, and my life insurance. Only 2 things we don't pay. Only reason she has a bank account, I literally do not even have a U.S. bank account. I don't do any banking. CoinZoom is my bank. So, no, I'll tell you, as we get into that and help our friends do that, and we're getting an affiliate program fired up that hopefully you'll, as you teach people to do it, help them figure it out, you'll get a little bit off every time they pay their bills. So, but yeah, it's really cool to be earning, and eventually you don't want to pay for anything out not using your CoinZoom card because you're earning it. And listen, if you don't have CoinZoom, if you have a Coinbase card, Gemini credit card, whatever you have, just go through that little process of making that habit change to where you're earning something. I don't care if it's CoinZoom, Coinbase, Crypto.com, Gemini, they're all fine. Some of them are credit cards, some of them are debit cards. I happen to think ours is the best, bar none. But my plea to you and what I suggest to you is just use it. Don't pay anything, especially if you're not earning anything. And if you're earning airline miles, that's worthless, man. Earn some crypto, let that go up, and you can fly first class. Otherwise, they want you to pay double or triple. I literally, last year, it cost me 75,000 miles to fly from like Salt Lake to Nashville, which is ridiculous, right? Should have been a 20,000 mile flight. They charged me more than triple, about triple. Anyway, screw those, man. But anyway, cool thing. I love to see my buddies out there doing that, and it adds up. Trust me, it adds up over time, especially as the crypto goes up. But anyway, listen, mostly some tech. There is some weakness in the Chinese economy, no doubt, but they're still up 20% year over year. A lot of that was some profit taking. It was a big crash for one day, and there's no question that their economy isn't as strong as people believe it is. And so, a lot of people are saying, the rats are fleeing the ship and whatever, but I do think it shows that there's not the appetite for risk asset. So anyway, is what it is. Not a huge effect on us over here in the West. It's rumored that Trump and Netanyahu just clashed on the phone over Iran. Trump wants a letter of intent with Tehran drafted by Qatar, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Egypt. The letter would end the war and start 30 days negotiation, nuclear strait and the Straits of Hormuz. Netanyahu wants the strikes to continue per Axios, U.S. brief call. Now, I don't know if this is true, but it makes sense. I mean, obviously, Netanyahu, that's their sworn enemy. He'd like to wipe them out because they've been saying they're going to wipe them out forever, right? And so this is probable to me. I don't believe any of the news I see. Like I say, and I would encourage you to look at the data. What's the market telling us? What's the market doing? What's crypto doing? And that kind of, I think, gives us a better idea of what's really going on. I don't believe a lot of this, but I do. This is a plausible situation, though. We have some news that I just got right before I jumped on the call with the new supreme leader, supposedly, who no one's ever seen, probably in a coma or dead, but he's issuing some stuff on with this situation. But anyway, Trump says the deal's close, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I think the main thing with Trump, obviously, the straits got to get open, and they're not going to let him keep their nuclear material. So they're near weapons grade nuclear material. So I think that's a red line for Trump. But anyway, I'd like to see it get resolved for us, and it needs to happen fast. When we talk about the FOMC meeting, a big thing was about this war, and we had the minutes come out, very, very hawkish. But let me just read this. I thought this was a good recap of it. Many policymakers would have preferred to remove the easing bias from the policy statement. Majority said some policy firming would likely be appropriate if inflation continues. So, hey, Mr. Heine, happy Thursday to you too. Happy Thursday, the founder of the Heine community there. Like I say, great community. Also coming at me from the YouTube. So no, appreciate that. I think all my buddies from X coming at me from YouTube. I think that's definitely going to help my algorithm over there. Appreciate it. But wherever you're coming from, great. Most of my listeners still obviously on X. That's kind of my home place. Just branching out a little bit. Hopefully we reach some new people out there. I've even loaded to a podcast. I don't know, like 30 people have listened to it, but I want to have that out there. And everything's at Crypto Bull Ron. And I hopefully maybe even tomorrow or Monday, I'm going to start live streaming this on TikTok as well. Got like 1,000 followers over there. Haven't even been making much effort, but I'm going to make a little more. It's cool. The live stream over there is getting a lot of attention, and you have to watch it live. People go live all the time. I may start going live throughout the day too, but I'm definitely going to broadcast this live over there, and think you get a lot of interaction with people over there. It seems that's what David Gockstein tells me anyway. He gets way more interaction over there, and he's a massive account on X. So anyway, definitely reaching out there, getting some new people, educating people, hopefully bringing people proper information. But I thought, listen, so basically in a nutshell, there was quite a bit of fighting going on, and this, we already know what the result is. They held everything straight, but people were mad that the bias was kind of towards we're going to the bias was that we're going to lower rates. A lot of people said no, it should be neutral. And they were kind of mad that they thought the wording was too soft. So yeah, Mr. Heine, TikTok is where it's at. There's a lot of, the algorithm's so good, and I'm just hoping and praying that someday Nikita Bear gets his shit together and figures it out over on X, fix the algorithm. I mean, I'll tell you what, couple nights ago, I slept like crap. I think the night before last. So I was up, I wound up getting an alert and had to change one of my grid bots or whatever. And it was like, I don't know, maybe it's like TV. Remember, if you stayed up all night, you saw these infomercials. Maybe it was like that, because my timeline was like the National Enquirer. Total crap from people I don't follow, I don't care about. Total just crap, right? I mean, it's just unbelievable. And I was actually going in, I'm not interested in this, I'm not interested in that. And it's like, I don't know, maybe it was the time of day or whatever. I've never seen my timeline be such crap. And by the way, none of the people I follow and have alerts on for do I even see. I literally have to go to a special place. I rarely see people anyway. It is what it is. Frustrating, but that's why I'm reaching out a little on some other platforms as well. But obviously X is where, X is still the best platform, still the freest platform. They just need to get their algorithm figured out and whatnot. But anyway, good to see. Yeah, definitely branching out a little slowly but surely. Nothing earth shattering at this point. But so people were mad. There was a big dissension that they came out. Their bias was kind of that they're going to cut, right? They said the bias should be neutral, and that was the big thing, right? A lot of people were concerned that elevated energy prices, tariffs could embed inflation more broadly, and some with the war in the Middle East, maybe it'd be stickier. Bottom line, very hawkish, very hawkish. And I believe that's what hurt the market, because what Nvidia did was freaking amazing, right? Trump administration reportedly commits $2 billion towards quantum computing firms with equity stakes included. He's being kind of a VC with the country's money, which is smart. Worked out very well with Intel. Now this, my guy Shabbat, who gives me last minute stuff on the GM show while we're doing it. Shabbat's out there in New York. He's working big time, runs a big time jewelry business out there. Anyway, he sent me this right as we were closing it. We mentioned it, but this is huge. So Trump signed an order yesterday, orders the U.S. government to update regulations to integrate crypto into traditional finance and payment systems. So basically, we have a couple things going on. Banks are trying to become, slowly but surely, becoming crypto companies. And more importantly, crypto companies are trying to get into the traditional banking system. So we know we have the Clarity Act. That's huge on Trump's agenda, like a top priority thing. Has to have it. It's so important. As we said, it's so important for the U.S. dollar and the stable coins, which is going to, they're going to become maybe the biggest buyer, one of the biggest buyers, a major buyer nonetheless of T-bills, right? And we see that other companies are trying to get away. They're dumping them. They're buying, they're holding less than ever. China's buying gold. People are, they're trying to get rid of the U.S. dollar's dominance. But that could all be saved and give the U.S. a few more decades if they could, if most of the major stable coins being traded on chain are dollar denominated, right? Like Tether, USDC, RLUSDC, all that stuff. So it's absolutely critical for the U.S. dollar. So it's going to happen. And then on another thing that's going on is a couple like Kraken and a few other, I don't know if it's Ripple or a couple others, have gotten charters to be basically get access into the banking system where they can deal directly with the Fed and whatever. There's been a lot of pushback on that. So this is Trump coming out with an strong executive order yesterday to push back against people like Elizabeth Warren and these people who are just shills for the big banks. And the big banks have been ripping us off for generations, right? Hundreds of years they've been ripping us off with unfair advantage, paying us nothing, meanwhile loaning out the money like 10 times. Meanwhile, our savings account don't even keep up with inflation. So this is major. This is a shot across the bow to the banks. And people have said it's too high a priority. He will, they're not going to let the banks stop this. And it also hurts the US becoming the one of the top crypto hubs, which is another stated goal. So I think this is huge. Like I say, Shabbat shared it with me. We mentioned it just as we were closing out the GM show, Bitcoin morning show, which is a space on X right after this update. And it's huge, but this is huge. And there's no question to me that the Clarity Act's going to pass, and the bank, he's not going to let the banks block it, but they're trying hard. The banking cartels, as I call them. This was funny. This is from our friend AP 911. So basically JP Vance, there's all this news. I've seen it all over the financial media the last couple of days. Trump, when he's been negotiating with Apple and this and that, he's been buying the stock and done all these trades. And JD Vance is like, he's not trading his own stock. He has financial advisors doing it. In fact, I think he's got more restrictions than anybody. And he said this is different than what we're against, which is, people who run committees and stuff like Nancy Pelosi, the best. She's smarter than Warren Buffett, who's the greatest investor in our lifetime, maybe in history. She's outperforming him because she has inside information. This is different, but people that, he made it clear that he's not trading his own stocks, but nonetheless, I mean, some people are skeptical. I liked what AP 911 said. She said, I didn't eat ice cream last night. My advisors ate it. So that was funny. And either way, a lot of insider deals going on whether you believe Trump's doing it or not. He was just clarifying that Trump can't manage his own money, just like he can't run he has to have other people running the Trump organization. Doesn't mean that he's not really pulling the strings. Now, this is interesting because this whole deal, supposed rift between Netanyahu and Trump is, based on he wants to do this LOI. And like I say, obviously we got to get the straits open. And he's not going to let him have this enriched uranium. And then this comes in right before I was getting ready for the show. Iran's supreme leader, by the way, no one's seen this guy forever. It's said he's dead. He said he's in a coma. Who knows, right? Anyway, he's supposedly still putting these edicts out. But Iran's supreme leaders ordered that near weapons-grade uranium must not leave Iran, per Reuters, citing two senior Iranian sources. This comes after reports Trump's latest deal would require Iran to ship its enriched uranium out of the country. Obviously, is a red line for Trump. And once again, this could just be negotiating. Who cares? Look at the data, but don't believe anything you say. It's all propaganda. And this guy, for all we know, he's not even alive, or he's in a comatose somewhere in a cave. But anyway, yeah, it just is what it is, right? But I think we all want to see it get resolved, but we don't want to give them more power. That's what Netanyahu supposedly saying. Hey, just gives them a chance to regroup. And but yeah, I think if they get rid of their nuclear stuff, open the straits, they're doing a lot. Saudi Arabia already has a pipeline going out the other side of the country. They're making another one, and now so is UAE. So everyone's bypassing that strait anyway for future stuff. Okay, I got an alert. Let's see what the markets are doing. It could just be I didn't reset it. I have alerts call me, so I don't like them calling me during the shows, but otherwise I'm not in a meeting or on a phone call. I miss when I need to be taking profits or buy more grid bots. But let's see what's happening here in the traditional markets. Yeah, NASDAQ's doing a little better. It's only down 0.28. Dow Jones down 0.4. S&P down 0.21. So it's doing a little better. Let's take a look over here on the crypto markets. See how we're doing. 77,121. Let's look at that on the hourly. I think we're about where we were. I don't think that's changed much. Flat on the daily. So yeah, let's look at Solana because it has been doing a little better. Let's see what it's doing. 86.01. Yeah, it's up 0.2 on the hourly here. So that's what it's telling me. Let me see if I need to jump over to that screen, see if I need to take some profits. Yeah, Solana's got a little bit of a green candle going up here. Okay, I can still leave it, but anyway, I'm gonna do some content on these grid bots. On the Heine community, we actually did a little show yesterday, talked about it, kind of went over macro, but we're both gonna do some content. We can show some graphs. I think these grid bots using our partnership with BitUnex is a really good way to do to add some money. I make about 1% a week on my entire portfolio over there, but I think right now I'm really literally only 45% deployed. So it's a good little way, I think, with very little effort. You don't have to, nothing's without risk, obviously, and we're trading on a third-party exchange. There's risk there as well, but to me, it's a good way to make some money. We actually did the Heine community did a show on it, and we're going to do some content. And we've got this partnership with BitUnex you guys can take part in as well. But anyway, back to the news here. Where were we at? Oh, yeah, So this is interesting. This is an interesting take too. This was with Brett Baer, I believe, around the time, like a week or so ago. And, but this crypto rover said, Trump is telling us to buy AI stocks. In 2025, his administration took a stake in Intel at $20. Today, that's up 500%. And he was talking on this interview. If you watch it, he talks about, how he's the AI battle and the back and forth with China. They were ahead of us, but he feels like we're ahead of us. he's given them the ability to generate their own power, which is certainly going to mean many nuclear plants and things like that. So, like I say, Trump's getting behind some of these firms and helping make money for the government, almost making that sovereign wealth fund, which we hope. There's more and more rumors, at the Bitcoin conference a few weeks ago in Vegas. The new White House Bitcoin guy said, no, there's an announcement coming in a few weeks. The U.S. buying Bitcoin, the sovereign wealth fund or Bitcoin strategic reserve is a real thing. So let's hope that is. Another Senator McCormick, I don't know where he's from, but he said on Fox Business that Bitcoin Clarity Act will be signed to law this summer. It's heading. So they're saying it's going to happen. We know the banking cartel is trying to block it. I think that's what yesterday's executive order. We had a little bit of economic news today. Initial jobless claims. It came in at actual 209,000, 210 expected. So a little less than expected, which is good. Less people filing for unemployment, and last year was 211. So you got to take these government numbers with a grain of salt because they often revise them, and sometimes it's propaganda in and of itself. But anyway, jobless claims weren't as bad as expected. I call that a nothing burger, to be honest with you. And the big news, SpaceX files for the largest IPO in history. SpaceX has officially filed to go public under the ticker symbol SPCX, dual list on the NASDAQ and the NASDAQ Texas. There's this new Texas exchange, right? And it's going to be listed on there as well. Targeting a 1.75 trillion valuation, plans to raise 75 billion, more than double Saudi Aramco's record. So huge. And they go through all their numbers, on their profits and things like that. But yeah, everyone believes it's going to go well over 2 trillion, maybe even by the time they launch it. We'll see, right? But at least 1.75 trillion. They're going to raise 75 billion. This is incredible. Incredible. Not all of you guys, a lot of you guys remember for about 3 years, one of my business partners in the fund, ENS Maverick, helped co-host my show for about the first 3 years. And then he's working on another business venture with another former business partner of ours. We all worked together when we had our internet company we took public. But I talked to Mav last night. He's coming into town today. We're going to go to dinner. He's been on the road, literally has not started his car for over 2 years, and had his apartment in Colorado just sitting there, his condo and his apartment he rents, whatever it is. Literally never went back in over 2 years, been on the road. So he went back to kind of pack that up, and kids moved to the East Coast, but one of them works for directly for Elon. And he was telling me, yeah, he got a Cybertruck. Elon made Cybertrucks available, and he lives on the space campus, whatever, Space Town or whatever the hell they call that. And they don't pay for utilities. So he's like driving for like $150 a month is all it costs him to drive the Cybertruck. He absolutely loves it. But he had a huge chunk of Cybertrucks, and they all run it on their down there on whatever. I don't know what. I know it's not called Space Town, but their big city down there. But anyway, really cool. Both that's Mav's son-in-law, and Mav's daughter's super sharp too. I've known him since they were like toddlers, right? Mav and I go way back. And his daughter was like, even after she had a couple kids, was still the valedictorian of her college. Super smart. They both speak fluent Spanish, well as English. Anyway, great kids. But they work directly for Elon. So I always get a lot of little inside information. He's one of the, he's works directly for Elon at SpaceX. So anyway, he was just telling me they love their Cybertruck, and they're driving it for like peanuts. So, and they plug it in right there. Don't pay for utilities because they live on the base or campus or whatever you call it. So anyway, I'm looking forward to hearing more about that tomorrow when we got to dinner tomorrow night. But Mav, one of my oldest friends, go back a long time. But anyway, he was always here helping me working full time at our fund before he took on this other business venture. So I haven't I've only seen him maybe twice in the last 2 years. So, but he was a lot of people who've been listening to the show for a long time. Oh, crap. I didn't realize what time it is. Okay. Well, hey, we got to jet out of here. I'm 3 minutes over. But hey, thanks for joining me. Let's see what happens, right? That's basically most of the news. Big news day, slow trading day. I'm going to blame it on the Fed's hawkish stuff. Nvidia killing it, absolutely killing it. So I think long term, very bullish. Short term, we'll see what happens over the next 3-4 days. Could bleed down a little. So far, we're holding pretty good. So thanks, everyone, for joining me live. Feel free to join me over on the GM Bitcoin Morning Show.